An intel source telling me that President Trump did, in fact, win the election. He says that it is up to the Supreme Court to hear suits from other cases across the country to stop the clock. This follows the High Court's refusal to hear the lawsuit.
American people saved me. Saved my family and I.
Admiral Rogers said there are 20 people within the NSA that are part of the unmasking process. How many people within the FBI are part of the unmasking process?
I don't know for sure. As I sit here, surely more, given the nature of the FBI's work. We come into contact with U.S. persons a whole lot more than the NSA does, because we may be conducting, we only conduct our operations in the United States to collect electronic surveillance, to conduct electronic surveillance. So I can find out the exact number. I don't know it as I sit here.
Well, I think, Director Comey, given the fact that you and I agree this is critical, vital, indispensable, a similar program is coming up for reauthorization this fall with a pretty strong headwind right now, it would be nice to know the universe of people who have the power to unmask a U.S. citizen's name, because that might provide something of a roadmap to investigate who might have actually disseminated a masked U.S. citizen's name.
Sure, the number is relevant, but what I hope the American people will realize is the number is important, but the culture behind it is, in fact, more important. The training, the rigor, the discipline. We are obsessive about FISA and the FBI for reasons I hope make sense to this committee, but everything that's FISA has to be labeled in such a way to warn people, this is FISA. We treat this in a special way. So we can get you the number, but I want to assure you the culture of the FBI and the NSA around how we treat U.S. person information is obsessive, and I mean that in a good way.
Director Comey, I am not arguing with you, and I do agree the culture is important, but if there are 100 people who have the ability to unmask and the knowledge of a previously masked name, then that's 100 different potential sources of investigation. And the smaller the number is, the easier your investigation is. So the number is relevant. I concede the culture is relevant. NSA, FBI, what other U.S. government agencies have the authority to unmask a U.S. citizen's name?
Well, I think all agencies that collect information pursuant to FISA have what are called standard minimization procedures, which are
if there's something I'll get emotional about is that. And I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I mean, prayer, right? Faith, and have you ever gone scuba diving?
I have.
You ever done buddy breathing?
I have.
All right, well, the American people have been buddy breathing with me for 4 years. Okay. Another way to describe it was the deep state buried me 6 feet under the ground, wanted me to die, and somehow somebody stuck a straw up through that, or a straw was allowed to be stuck up to the air, and I sat and I laid down there for 4 years breathing through that straw. But that straw became wider and wider and wider over the years because the American people came to my family's aid, and I'll tell that story someday because that's an amazing story about people that have nothing, and they're willing to give me everything that they have because they believed in something that they believed in me, they believed in my family, they believed they believed in something that was bigger than what it is that we are about, and thank God they did. So I was like I say, I've been buddy breathing for 4 years down under, and the American people were who was giving me that oxygen to do that, to survive.
Interesting pre-election and post-election coverage, too, on the Hunter Biden scandal, which was not covered at all by many outlets in the lead up to the election. In fact, on October 15th, you had a New York Times headline that said, Trump said to be warned that he was being given Russian disinformation over Hunter Biden. Now, December 10th, just a few months later, New York Times headline, investigation of Hunter Biden is likely to hang over Biden as he takes office. Washington Post on October 16th, the headline read, the truth behind the Hunter Biden non-scandal. Now you have the Washington Post headline that says this, Hunter Biden tax probe examining Chinese business deals. Politico, October 19th, Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinformation. That's a favorite. Dozens of former intel officials say, false yet again. December 2nd, now Politico reads, Justice Department's interest in Hunter Biden covered more than taxes. Really interesting turn of events, and good for those who covered what was a story all along and not Russia disinformation.
Isn't it hypocritical for you to accuse others of disinformation when you spread it every day?
You may have heard this week Julian Assange requested a pardon from the Trump administration. Project Veritas has obtained recordings between Julian Assange and the Secretary of State's office under the Obama administration. That was when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. Project Veritas has obtained these recordings, and we intend to put them out tomorrow. And it's a fascinating look between the relationship between WikiLeaks and the United States government. You'll hear some things that you've never heard before. We're putting them out tomorrow. I am in an undisclosed location here in the middle of nowhere, working on a couple of secret things. Stay tuned tomorrow.